88.9 WNYO
Oswego.
New York.
Bro, the cold brew? It's the best.
It's the cold brew. Listen to it all the time.
The cold brew, it slaps.
Good afternoon, SUNY Oswego, the city of Oswego, the town of Oswego, central New York, and wherever you're listening from. You're tuned in to 88.9 FM WNYO, the Laker Radio Network. I'm Chris Brewster, and this is the Cold Brew. Welcome in to the season finale of the Cold Brew as we wrap up this semester. It's certainly been a stressful one, to say the least, from top to bottom across the board. Classes, extracurriculars, and of course media org stuff. But ladies and gentlemen, we do have a very special, very interesting, and very long-awaited cold brew interview today with none other than the man that's been on my show before, once or twice, here and there. It's Zach Nusimow. Welcome in.
Thank you very much, Chris. It's a pleasure to be here, and I just want to thank you for having me, and some of my crew here as well.
Yes, we're going to go ahead and dive right into introductions. We'll go ahead and start to my left. Go ahead and give us your intro.
What's up, guys? I'm Cletus Tepas. I'm a junior, broadcasting major. I work with Zach on the OX5 show, do all the camera work, and me and Zach go back and forth with the editing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you for having me today, Chris.
So happy to have you on, and we'll swing it across the table. Hello.
Hello, I'm Bella Woodstock. I am a junior here at SUNY Oswego studying broadcasting and business. And I worked on OX5 writing some questions, kind of being there when Zach would have all his mental breakdowns throughout the 2 semesters. But it's been an incredible journey, and thank you for having me today.
Of course. And lastly, but certainly not least,
I'm Stephanie Genese. I'm also a junior, and I've been working on OX5. I've been working more with Bella on the questions, and we're always there for Zach, too, in his mental breakdown.
You also did some camera work.
Oh, yes, I did do camera. I forgot about that for the earlier interviews we did. But, yeah.
It sounds a lot of just me mentally breaking down and you guys being
The first couple interviews were rough, but we made it.
Well, we're certainly, I guess, I wouldn't even say you guys started at the bottom, because, Zach, you came in guns blazing, you were ready to go.
Oh, yeah, of course.
But we're certainly at the top now.
Oh, yeah, I would definitely say so.
I'm going to go ahead and plug it right now. Ladies and gentlemen, Thursday night, what time?
It's going to be at 9:30, 9:30, May 5th.
Thursday, May 5th at 9:30 p.m. over on our sister station, WTOP 10, is the season finale. Series finale?
Yep, this is it. Series finale.
Series finale of OX5 out on our own Oswego. And it's a big one, folks.
Yeah, it certainly is.
Zach, you did the unthinkable. Not the impossible, because it happened.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
But at one time, it was definitely, man, I don't know if this is going to happen. But you got an interview. You secured an interview with SUNY Oswego alum, Al ROKER.
Yeah, class of 76.
I've been saying this all year. I need a sound effect of just clapping and cheering. I just don't have it.
Yeah, there we go.
But in studio, it's honestly better that way.
Yeah, we got
so you did it, and I want to just start from the top. Take me through everything leading up to it from the beginning. You came to Oswego in 2019. Fall of 2019. The beginning.
All right.
I remember we met each other at orientation. Mm-hmm. We were like, yo, you're pretty cool. You said the same thing back to me. I was like, dang, that's okay, cool, thanks. And you said, I want to have my own TV show. I want to meet and interview Al Roker. Go through just from the beginning.
Yeah, so like I said, or like you said, I met you back in 2019. I knew for certain that I wanted to have my own show at some point, be the producer and host for it. It wasn't until, of course, when we came back from the pandemic that I actually got to fulfill that dream and be able to have this show out on our own, Oswego. So honestly, the whole idea for the show itself, OX5, and for people that don't know, Out on Our Own Oswego has like 5 O's, OX5, easy abbreviation. I feel like I always need to explain that.
It makes sense. It's a good name. It's a good name.
No, yeah, and well, it's a tongue twister for people first saying, or for people who say it at first. But the initial idea for OX5 happened in the summer of 2020 during the height of the pandemic, and I was actually working at the lake, at Sylvan Lake, with by myself. My friend Antonia was there with me, and we were just coming up with ideas for like this show. And I remember one of the segments that we came up with that didn't make the final cut for when we came back was a segment called West Side Duck. And I feel like I feel like a lot of students nowadays wouldn't really know what West Side Duck is. But
I know all about West Side Duck.
Oh yeah,
Trust me.
It was literally, for people who don't know, it was really just a duck that chilled out on West Side, and like there was really an Instagram for him and everything. And I'm like Antonia, how cool would it be? This is my friend who was there with me that day. Like, how cool would it be if we like do not like an interview, but we just get little clips of him doing stuff, and then we do a fundraiser where we just like build him a house on West Side, like a memorial or something like that, something along those lines.
Well,
like,
he didn't die.
Well, all right, yeah. Well, I didn't know the correct words, but like just something to represent like him on West Side. So yeah, that's like an example of like the early stage of the show. And even for people who don't know, I also like sing the intro song. Shout out my boy Christian Anthony who helped produce it. But that was created like a full year before the show. Like,
holy cow.
No, yeah, like I knew like we had like drive from like a full year prior from like where the whole idea started, you know.
So go ahead and just tell us, what is OX5? What do you do?
So out on our own Oswego, we bring you all the Oswego tricks, tips, and skits, that this beautiful city and campus has to offer. We interview students here and there. We like to get their take on upcoming events, give the people a voice. And, I feel like it's important to really be able to hear the students' perspective, like outside of the classroom and like, outside of like, maybe someone with a higher position asking them, like we're students asking students how they feel, and then we do like skits. We go to events. We show the students here, incoming or current, things that we do. Like things here at Oswego, show them what it's about. So if they ever want to go check it out, they can, to get firsthand experience on, what's happening here.
Right. So, yeah. And so that being said, you've interviewed quite a few notable names in the Oswego area, such as our friend down at Juan Zones, Jason. I remember that was one of your first episodes of OX5.
Yeah.
Go ahead and just. What's your relationship like with Jason?
Oh, I call him Uncle Jason. Like that, at this point, like him and I are like this. Like we're just very close with each other. He even he just helps me out with everything. I go down there not just only to get calzones, but also for advice. He was a student here. For most of you guys who don't know, he was also he was I'm pretty sure. Was he broadcasting? I'm pretty sure he was a business. Yeah, he was a business administration major, just like myself. And I go to him for, advice here and there. He's helped me out a lot. And I will say I was definitely a lot more nervous interviewing him than I was Al Roker, just because it was like, we didn't have a sense of direction for the show yet. And I didn't really know, what that direction was. So we did a lot of preparation for it. And I'll let, my crew take over to explain kind of, how that went about.
You were a hot mess.
That was the first interview. We didn't have, any experience, but Jason welcomed us with open arms. He was very nice, easy to work with, and that really helped us out. I think it was a great first interview because it was we were able to learn from it.
Yeah, we learned a lot. We even set up the whole set like in Zach's living room at his house to like get a feel for like where all the cameras need to be, where all the lighting will need to be, and I don't know. We learned a lot at that interview.
Yeah,
and Jason was the perfect person to do it. Have our first interview with.
He certainly was the best person to start with. He just has a sense of he's just a great guy. Like he's just like family, He makes you feel like family. And like I feel like anyone who goes there at night, they feel that sense. He's like, he knows everyone's name by heart, You could just walk in, he'll just be like, "Oh, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on?" Like he just knows everyone that walks in. There could be like 500 people that walk in. He probably knows at least like 97% of their names,
Yeah, and I'll say thanks to you for this. I walked in wearing my SAVAC uniform. And I'm with the crew. I'm just like, I'm trying to get a calzone. It's late at night. I'm doing the overnight shift. I walk in. He's like, "Chris, what's up?" I'm like, "There's no way you know my name."
Yeah.
So Jason. He's such a cool guy.
And even if he doesn't know your name, he knows who your friends are.
Yeah.
He knows
Right.
where you fit
Oh,
into
yeah.
the puzzle. It's amazing. I don't know how he keeps it all straight.
I don't know how he knows everyone's name. I would never be able to remember this whole campus's name.
He probably sees thousands of kids a night.
Exactly.
Easy. And you've got some other notable names like Mayor Barlow.
Yeah. We also have Keith Raymond from Good Guys
Yep.
Barbershop,
Yep.
and we also interviewed Coach Gosek. He's the head coach for the men's hockey team, and then assistant coach Whitelaw.
Yep. So, do you have a favorite?
Oh no.
I know. I'm really putting you on the spot here. Do you have a favorite?
All right. I will say I feel like my favorite interview was probably with Jason. I feel like that's always going to be close to my heart. But then my favorite to film was probably the one with the mayor. Mayor Billy Barlow. I feel like we just had a lot of fun that day. We even did like a nice little skit prior to it that Cletus put together and like kind of formulated. And my good friend Aaron Brown was also with us. He kind of like acted, I guess, in it.
Okay.
And I don't know. I feel like that was the first, like the mayor interview was like the first huge step for to kind of show people like, oh yeah, like we're serious.
I think we all like felt very official and professional after that.
No, yeah, like it's like we like that. We like to have fun on the show, I don't want it to be super formal. I never wanted it to be super formal. Let me rephrase that. And I always want it to be like fun, like whatever. But that was the first time where it's just like, yeah, we just interviewed the mayor. I literally just asked the mayor if he liked Kanye or Drake, like in the office.
That only happens in a college community like Oswego, honestly.
Exactly.
So, do you guys have any sort of favorite moments?
I definitely really enjoyed the Juan Zones one because I think anybody knows if Jason knows you, you just feel so special. So being able to go in there and him giving us free T-shirts, and then I remember later that night I went in and he was like, "Bella, so good to see you again," and like gave me a discount. So that was really cool. But the mayor for me was my favorite.
Okay, solid.
I think we know why.
Miss Bella Barlow.
I agree with Bella. I enjoyed both of those interviews a lot, but I also did really enjoy Al Roker too. That was just crazy. It was a great experience. Not everyone gets to talk to Al Roker here, so I really enjoyed that. And with it was in the WTOP studio, and had just a great experience there with everyone.
Yeah, I loved all the interviews, but I have to say I think I really enjoyed some of our just going out and seeing what Oswego had to offer. We would go out. Zach would look at the emails we get. What are they called?
The Oswego Today emails.
Oswego Today emails. You go to the bottom of them, and there's just this list of activities, and Zach would be like, "Let's go ice skating." So we went to, open skate. We
Right.
saw you there.
Oh,
did
yeah,
a bunch
that's
of different
right.
activities. Yeah.
That was now that you say that, Cletus, that was a really fun night.
That was really fun. We all went ice skating. We filmed. We wound up meeting a couple people on the ice and interviewing them.
Yeah.
So I really liked some of the activities. That was fun.
No, yeah, we're not just like interviewed based, that was more of like the first season. The second season we did more like what's happening on campus, what are things that are happening in our community, things that the students could go check out. So I know the most recent episode that we did, I don't think it's out on YouTube yet, but we did one of my assistant producer now, Matt Hernandez, him and I went out and we were literally on campus, I want to say for like 11 hours filming.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, we went to like the Earth Day event, and there was an event in Tyler for like graphic design majors, and then there was an event where they were doing like an iron pour, and then we went to Justin's 2.5 event later that night, and then WNYO had an event later that night,
Right.
like the little get together, and I'm pretty sure there's one more I'm forgetting, but we were there all day. That just goes to show that there's something going on at all times. It might not happen every single day, but you just gotta stay aware and look at those emails.
Yeah, for sure. So let me ask you this. Right before we head to break, is there anything you're looking forward to? I know, like, kind of going off topic here. Is there anything you guys are looking forward to after this season's over, moving into summer and coming in back next fall?
I'll let Cletus say first if he has something on his mind.
Well, me and Steph are both doing an internship in the fall together, so OX5 was definitely something that helped us. We used that reel and the stuff we filmed for that, so that will be exciting, and we're definitely going to be, back with WTOP, not working with OX5, but doing some other great work, so I'm excited for that.
Where's the internship?
It's on campus with SUNY Oswego, so we're still going to be telling student stories and talking about activities and stuff on campus. So it's pretty similar to OX5, but it's with the school.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah.
I actually got hired as a freelance writer in the fall for the Palladium Times.
Wow,
So,
congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm currently interning for them. So I just wrote an article about Zach, actually. That should be out this week. So that's what I'm really excited about. Yeah.
Perfect first candidate for a first internship story.
Yeah.
Zach.
For myself this summer, I'm definitely planning to do an internship. I don't know what it is yet. I have my options open. So if you're listening to this and you want me on your team, I'll be more than happy to swing my resume to you. And I'm also planning to work at the lake again this summer. Maybe I'll come up with a new idea for a show while I'm working there. And kind of like, just relaxing. It's been a stressful semester, as you started this interview with. And it really has been for me, doing a lot of schoolwork. So I'm just going to enjoy my time, spend it with my family. And, that's sort of that.
That's good to hear. Well, I'm certainly going to be enjoying myself up here at the lake. And you did release a song last year titled Summer 21.
Yes.
But in other words, I'm looking forward to Summit 22. Stick around here on the Cold Brew. It's 88.9 WNYO, the Laker Radio Network. I'm interviewing Zach and his crew from OX5. He's got an interview with Al Roker coming up later this week, Thursday at 9:30 p.m. on WTOP 10 TV. Stick with us. It's Jake Mason, YFK Henry, and the man in studio, Zach Morris. It's Summit 21.
I kinda like it when your body is on mine. Lifestyle's so fine. I'm in heaven and I'm loving every second of it.
Zach Morris, shorty always looking good on FaceTime.
You're listening to The Cold Brew, 88.9 WNYO, the Laker Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Al Roker, and you're listening to WNYO.
So that was the OX5 intro. Zach, you made that.
Yes, I did with my producer Christian Anthony.
Wonderful. It's such a good. It's such a catchy intro. Really.
Yeah.
Do you have any what was the inspiration? What made you what was the vibe behind it?
The vibe. So we wanted to do something, something upbeat for the college kids. We knew, I definitely, of course, I didn't have any sense of direction of what exactly we were gonna do and how we were gonna present ourselves. But I definitely knew with this song, this is how I wanted to be presented. It's something around this type of energy, just a college feel. So I think rock and roll was kind of the best way to go with that. And plus, my producer at the time. He's also a rock and roll guy. So I'm just if I'm going to get the best, I know we got to go this route. So.
Right on. Right.
Yeah.
So you two have to bounce pretty soon. Mm-hmm. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into the process behind setting up this Al Roker interview. Okay. Zach, go ahead and start. When did you first know that this was going to happen?
Well, I first knew it was going to happen 2 weeks prior to the interview. So we literally only had 2 weeks to fully get ourselves together. Literally the moment I heard, I went back to my house. I was actually in the resume lab in the bubble, just working on my resume, and I got an email back saying he's in or something along those lines. And I started flipping out.
Real quick. So as soon as Zach gets the email, he texts me, Bella, and Steph, and he says, "Hey, I need to talk to you guys. I need some friends right now."
I can imagine that's exactly how you said it.
Yep.
And he played it off like he was sad, like something happened. He walked in all, sad puppy dog look. And then he's like, so we got the interview. And he surprised us.
Well, the worst part too was like he texted us separately. So all of a sudden Cletus just walked in our living room.
Oh yeah.
And we were waiting for Zach to show up, and Cletus walks in, and I was like, oh my god, like someone's dead.
No, I wanted to like surprise them. I feel like this is something that we didn't think was gonna happen. So kind of like going back a bit, like during the season 1 of OX5, like every we end the show with like an interview. So in the last 2 episodes, we actually didn't end it with an interview because the second to last episode was supposed to be Deb Stanley, and we got denied. She said she was too busy for us, which is fine.
Dang, ouch.
Yeah.
Ouch. Come on, Deb.
Al Roker, I went through the alumni office, and at the time it was kind of just like an open-ended conversation that it just didn't happen. Like I'm not blaming on anybody. It just didn't happen at the time. It's like it just wasn't meant to be at that moment. But that kind of pushed me to do a season 2 because I only wanted the show to be 1 season. I just wanted to do like going up the chain. We started with small businesses, and we're starting with like the mayor who runs this town, and the person who owns this or like who runs the school, and then Al Roker. And I like that's how it was supposed to flow. But I feel like God had a plan for me, and we did a second season, and we got to where we wanted to be at the end of the day, and I'm just like blessed and happy that that I'm here in this room with 3 people who helped me start and do all these things, and they're still here with me now. So
that's incredible. How long was the email chain before you finally found out? How many was it weeks before you found out? Months?
So I technically started reaching out to the alumni office, I want to say in like October. It was just like phone call after phone call trying to reach different people, and it just didn't work out. And then there was a lot of emails, a lot more phone calls, I'd say. I'd like call like once or twice a week. And then this semester, I started actually working through the school with the communications director, Alex Ducat. And I'm actually creating a 4-part dining hall series for the school to kind of highlight the food here and kind of like, the Lakeside Dining Hall. And it's been really fun. I'm done filming. I still have to edit that. But once Alex started helping, they helped me create this paper that I had to give to the alumni office saying, hey, like, here's the stats of OX5. Here's why we want to do it. This is what we're going to talk about with him, like all the specifics. And they read it. It took a few months. And then, like I said, 2 weeks prior to the interview when we shot it was when I got the news and texted them. And yeah, we had 2 weeks to get everything together. So that's kind of the history and all that.
So the last 2 weeks must have been absolutely insane. Just hectic.
Yes.
We're coming up to the end of the school year.
Mm-hmm.
Classes are, final papers, final exams. You're stressing out about that. And then, of course, the alumni office says, yeah, by the way, here you go. Here's Al Roker. Do what you want.
Yeah.
So you guys obviously got the text from Zach. He's like, yeah, we got the interview.
Yeah.
The emotions behind it, obviously shock, awe, surprise. The next day, did you guys just jump right in and you're like planning out, all right, X, Y, Z, A, B, C, D, like what was going on?
I feel like the next day, Zach was like nonstop texting me, like, we need to meet now. We need to write the questions. We need to research. But I had like so many other projects. I was like, just give me 2 days and then I'm all yours, I promise. So I'd say like 2 days after, it kind of sunk in and I was like, okay, now I got to really like start because this is a huge deal. Not everyone gets to sit down with Al Roker and he's taking time out of his day. But then Zach, too, he was like, we're interviewing him at 3 on Thursday. And then all of a sudden I hear it through like the press release that it's at 11. And I was like, I have a group presentation. But thankfully my professor was like, this is way bigger. Like, skip class, go to that. So.
That's great.
Yeah. That was good.
We had so many meetings, too, about the questions because Zach wanted the questions that we're asking Al Roker obviously had to be perfect. So many meetings and had to email professors skipping class. Like, how could you miss an Al Roker interview for class? Class every day. But
no, yeah, it was. I'm sorry for stressing you guys out, but it was
No,
for
I
a
get
good,
it.
it was for a good
Really
cause.
good.
It was for a good cause.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say, we did have a lot of meetings pertaining to the interview, and of course, it's very difficult. I feel like college students don't get enough credit that we're able to juggle so much at one time, and we really do stress ourselves out to, not just perfect things, but just to work, just to like do extra like stuff outside of campus and like all that. Like, it's a lot. Like I know the ROKER thing was a lot, you know, we put a lot of work and effort into that. I also take 5-6 classes. I also work at the Oswego Cinema 7 down in town just to make some extra money. And on top of that, we still had the film for the show, script for the show. I had assignments up the yin yang. And then it's at the end of the day, it's just like, when do I have time to myself? Well, when you put your head on the pillow and get to fall asleep,
Right.
you know, that's it. You know, it's a lot going on.
You handled it well, though. For sure.
I appreciate
You
it.
did.
That's good. It takes a lot of poise to handle all that sort of stuff. And honestly, congratulations to all of you for throwing this together. 2 weeks is not a long time by any means. Cletus, the day after, what was going on?
The day after was, sending pictures home, getting congratulations from the parents, basking in the glory.
Mom, look at this.
Exactly, yeah. But we had help from Merrick. Merrick helped us out a lot on the video, and we did the interview over Zoom, so routing the audio and the camera and getting all of that, and then started to edit it. Melinda Brancato, she did a PR release for us as well. So
She did a great job.
Yeah, she did a great job with that, getting the word out. So the day after was really it was fun, and even like the moment after the Zoom call ended, we all just sighed a big relief. Everything worked out very smooth, so it was awesome. Yeah,
that's insane. So you guys were like writing questions, coming up with content. I heard that you guys were kind of filming all the behind the scenes. Is that true?
Yes, it is.
No, yeah. So I had a good friend of mine, and Damon Park. He's actually the one who filmed a lot of the behind the scenes. He filmed, I'm pretty sure, like all the behind the scenes stuff. Kind of like the pre-production and post-production stuff. So the pre-production kind of like getting set up, getting the studio ready for the interview, and post, like all of us giving each other high fives and like, yeah, we did it, like whatever.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm not sure if it was him or Matt Hernandez. I'm pretty sure it was Matt Hernandez. He showed up one day, like it was exactly 1 week before the interview, and it was me, him, Merrick, this kid Troy, and we all were there just kind of setting up like what it's gonna look like a week from today. So when we got there, we kind of had a visual idea of what it's gonna look like.
I kind of hope Al finds like the behind the scenes footage.
Yeah. I'll make sure to send all these links when they're completely done. I'll put them in a big like link bed together and send it over to his to the alumni office to then give to his agent and then to give to him. See if hopefully he likes and comments. I think that'd be really cool.
We were stressing because he was a little late because like obviously he's a very busy man. So we were just like, oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Pick the most important questions. And,
we could tell you about that real quick. I'll like give the little like just a little insight, and then they could take over. So he did show up 35 minutes late to the Zoom call,
gosh.
And it was very nerve-wracking because it was the lady from the alumni office, and then I'm pretty sure his agent, and his agent was like, oh, he's running 10 minutes late, oh, he's running 20 minutes late, he's gonna be there in 15 minutes, and we're just getting scared, like, oh, if this is gonna be a no-show, like we've hyped this up so much. We sent out press releases, like we were scheduling even this radio show to do with you, and all these different things and elements that we prepared. Like there's me and like 15 other people in the studio right now, and if he doesn't show up, I'm gonna be a little nervous.
The sheer stress and just the anxiety. You can see it. You can almost see it building up in the studio. I'd imagine.
Yeah. Things were getting pretty quiet. Like we're all pretty hyped up. No, I'm like, it's not even a joke. Like, we're all hyped up. We're like, okay, it's what time was it? It was at 11. The interview was supposed to be from 11 to 12. So it was 11. 10 minutes, she was just like going down the line, like, oh, he's gonna run this way, and it was just getting quieter and quieter in the studio until he finally came on, and then everyone rushed. Like I remember Damon like jumped in front. He was like on the floor because we had the computer was the HDMI cord on the floor, and he like unmuted us, did this, did that. He like ran off, and then everyone just kind of like jumped up. It was like a very surreal moment. It's like, oh, he's here, like this is crazy, and something I let Bella and Steph take over is like because we initially had an hour with him. We only had 35 minutes now with him. So we had, was it 15 questions? And then you guys cut it down.
Yeah, we started off with 15. I think we cut it down to 4 or 5.
Which
was hard because we wanted to have it be casual and have a lot of fun questions. But obviously, when you're limited on time, we had to get to the good stuff. Like, what is it about Oswego that you love so much? How did it help you? Like, blah, blah, blah. But Cletus was a big help in cutting the questions too. I remember there was this one question that we thought it was funny and lighthearted, and Cletus was like, "Don't joke about that."
All right, I don't mind sharing it now. So it went along the lines of just like, okay, Al, and once again, like you could take this either way. Like we were being pretty like. We just weren't thinking. We weren't thinking that way. It was just like, oh, Al, like, what was more difficult, covering Hurricane Ida in like the eye of the storm, or walking in the Oswego winds every single day? And like, Cletus was just like,
that one was
nah.
up for debate for a little bit whether we were gonna keep that one or cut that one, and I was like, you know what? It's out of here.
Yeah,
it was the first question cut, if you're wondering.
No, in my mind, when I created that question, I'm like, like it was like high volume wins there. It's always high volume wins here. Like it's like a little joke to like lighten the mood, but then of course like is this pretty serious situation, Hurricane Ida.
Oswego winters aren't the best, but a hurricane.
You gotta weigh your options there a little bit.
Yeah, so I left it up to like literally minutes before the interview, because we're like, well, we're clearly not going to be able to ask everything. So like Steph and Bella walked up to me, and they were just like, yeah, we're gonna need to like cut these questions because we're not gonna fit all these in there. And I'm like, I trust you two to cut whatever questions you need to cut. And like I didn't, me and Just, because I actually did the interview with my co-host Just as well. But like Justin and I didn't know which ones they were gonna pick, so it was kind of be like on the fly. I've seen the teleprompter scrolling up and down while he's answering, and there was like a time or two where I did stutter because I was preparing for one that was next, but he scrolled to a different one, or Cletus scrolled to a different one, so I was like, what? So
I had a little note card, and like I would go to the next question, and if we were skipping that one, I'd keep scrolling past it, and
gotcha. I
didn't have a lot of time because I only had the time that Al was talking to bring up the new question for them, so it was a little hectic, but we made it work.
Yeah, we did.
Well, I've got to know now, like, what's worse? Is it the Oswego winters or Hurricane Ida?
You know what, Chris? We could have easily had that answer for you, but I guess we'll never know unless he hears this.
I guess not.
Someone else has to interview him now.
I guess so. I'll have to bring him on my show next.
Yeah.
Stick around because we're going to keep talking about the Al Roker interview premiering on WTOP 10 OX5 Thursday at 9:30 p.m. Don't go anywhere. It's the Cold Brew here on the Laker Radio Network. Hey! Greta Van Fleet and the Cold Wind here on the Cold Brew. As I mentioned before this song, Zach had to bounce out for a sec, but he's back now. Unfortunately, Bella and Steph are not, but I want to thank them for coming on and sharing a little bit of the insight to their help behind the scenes for the production of OX5. Now, Zach, you did send me... I want to talk about this for a minute.
Okay.
We have a clip that you sent me. Yeah. Al Roker. We're going to play a little clip of Al Roker real quick. What was that question that prompted this?
All right, yeah. So I know I didn't have like or what I asked him in the soundbite that I sent you, but the question was, what is it about SUNY Oswego that you still feel such a deep connection to the campus and the community after all these years?
Okay, so we're talking Al Roker. Since he graduated, why is he still connected? What's the connection?
Exactly, like he graduated in '76 and he still has this like connection to Oswego. That he's still very much present in the community and the campus life here.
He gives back.
Exactly.
Right.
So we just wanted to see what he had to say about it.
Not to date my mom, but my mom was 5 years old when Al Roker graduated college. So I'm more so dating Al Roker just to show how old he is.
My mom was 1, so.
So here's a clip. Al Roker is going to be talking about his connection to SUNY Oswego.
Well, look, I mean, it's someplace besides, doing television news. I also worked at WSGO in us, in town. I worked at WRVO. In fact, I worked at WRVO during one of the most tumultuous times in our country's history during the Watergate hearings. I ran the board for that for NPR. And I just enjoy. There was something. You go through something. When you go through one of those classic Oswego blizzards, you feel like you've been through something, and it just I had some great friends. I loved doing radio. There was just a sense of community there that, and listen, I didn't go to Syracuse University. I couldn't afford it, but I have a feeling that it was a little less personal because it's such a big school, whereas SUNY Oswego is a pretty, by those standards, is a smaller school. At least it was then. So, when you have something like that, I think you cherish it.
So, wow. I mean, Al, even just talking about the blizzard up here. I mean, it's so cool to hear him. I just think it's so cool that he still has that connection after, 50 years? Almost 50 years?
Oh, yeah.
It's so incredible, and I'm so glad. I'm not thankful. I am thankful. I'm thankful to know you.
Oh, yeah,
and I'm thankful to know you too, Cletus.
Thankful to know you too, Chris.
But I'm happy for you guys that you guys were able to do this, to pull this off. It's not an easy feat to do, from the pre-production to actually sitting down. Like, yeah, of course, if you're a big name and you're going to interview Al Roker, it's just another thing. But we're college kids.
Yeah.
You guys are college kids, and you just sat down with one of America's. You sat down with America's favorite weatherman. Yeah. Realistically.
Yeah. And I remember Zach when he first came over. He came over before school even started this year
in August. Yeah.
In August, and he sat down and he laid out the idea for the show. And even back then, he said, this was my goal, was Al Roker. And I was like, okay, we'll see how we get there. And just the drive of Zach, he got there, and he wouldn't take no. And like you said, we didn't get it in the fall, but we got it in the spring. Mm-hmm. And we even got to interview him in the Al Roker studio, which is really cool. He has given WTOP and the media orgs a lot of money, and he's still willing to give back even if it's just an interview and his time, which is valuable.
And like we said earlier, he's such a busy guy. Yeah. Like, for him to be able to squeeze his alma mater into a little hour slot, I mean, that means so much. I mean, just as a student looking in, that's like, holy cow.
Yeah.
But I can only imagine what it was like being in your spot.
Yeah. Sometimes I do ask myself, I'm like, why me? It's like, I don't know. So like, I don't like to hype. Like, I hype myself up here and there. I feel like it's good too, but at the same time, I'm just like, why me? Why am I the one doing this? But honestly, I just feel like, after a lot of thinking, I'm just like, I truly believe that, God, he helped me get to this position where I was able to interview him. And I'm not even going to lie, like, before every episode from, last season to this season, I would honestly pray before every interview, or not before every interview, and then also before every show. I'd just ask God to just test me and just to bless everyone that's helping me, who's got me to this point. And just everyone in the studio who's there for me and rooting me, who's been rooting for me this whole time. And I had asked him to test me, and I feel there's definitely been some bumps along the road where there's one episode, I think it was our third episode or fourth episode, where the teleprompter, no one just loaded our script in the teleprompter. Yep. Or there was and then there was one where the teleprompter on the cameras, where we read it just wasn't showing up, and just things where videos weren't uploaded completely, and things where Just and I just had to do things on the fly, in the studio, or
right.
There's also the interview at Good Guys where I dropped Zach's camera and broke the lens.
That took a lot. That took a lot of energy not to scream. Yeah. But I will say, when we did do the Good Guys interview, it was very early in the morning. I think we got up at 5 a.m.
Yeah, we got
up.
And
because they open at 8.
So we had to be there at 6:45 to set up.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
So we're all super tired, and there was Cletus put my camera down, and then it just on the counter of the barbershop, and then when he walked away, it had the tassel on it, and he just pulled it down with him when he turned around, my camera broke. And I remember I was so upset because that's the first camera my parents bought me, and other people to thank are my parents, of course. I love them. They're my biggest supporters through this whole thing. But when he broke my camera, I'm like, this is literally how I do everything. This is everything. This is literally the show. My camera, I filmed everything on it. But so, my camera, Cletus's camera, but I'm we're one camera down now, and it was pretty upsetting. But Cletus, he's a great guy, great friend. He bought me another lens. He fixed it for me.
Yep. Power of the internet, ordered it.
Yeah,
fixed it. So that was definitely a rough moment where we were just stressing. Stressed out.
Exactly. And there was even times where, like I said before, there's been a video that didn't fully upload that was supposed to be in A block. So for people who don't know TV, we have we typically do A block, B block, C block. That's how we break it up in between commercials. And there was one video that was supposed to play in A block that wasn't fully uploaded from the back room yet. So we literally had to switch like the script from B block into A and then A into B, and then like C was normal. But it was like a lot of that was like on the fly. It was a lot of communication. I can't just like go off, like if the camera's on me and we're already recording, I can't be like, hey, can you guys like do this? Like it was great communication from the back room, and I couldn't ask for a better crew and people to work with,
Yeah, definitely. And that's all just part of the whole business here. Is like you got to have trust in your crew, and it really seems like you do.
Yeah.
Obviously with Cletus and Bella and Steph, like that's not even the end of it. Like you've got the whole rest of your crew.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more than just people I work with, Like I truly value Bella, Cletus, and Steph, and just like everyone else. Like I know I can't have everyone here in the studio with me.
It'd be a pretty packed radio studio here.
Exactly. But I'm truly blessed and honored that I'm able to like know everyone that I know, and we got to this point together. Like I truly value not just friendships, but like the team. I don't think it's always all about me, and I think that shows here that like I could have easily just showed up and just been like me and you talking about all this stuff and be like, oh, these are your accomplishments. But no, I value a team, and I knew without these three and everyone else that I wouldn't have really gotten here. I don't think we would have been at this stage if it wasn't for everyone who's helped me.
Definitely, and of course, a shout out to your co-host Justin.
Oh yeah,
like how can we forget him? He's the other man on screen.
Just has been a great co-host, and I will say, even that summer, I reached out to him. I knew I wanted him as a co-host from literally that first like week of me like starting to work on the show. I'm just like, I want Just. He got that great energy. He's gonna bring something here. And he's just been a great guy.
Every time he walks into the studio, he always will start a conversation amongst the crew.
Yeah,
and he'll always
he's always the one
spread the positivity. So that's always great to have him in the studio.
No, yeah, just like I said, great guy. I'm so like happy that he was able to do it, and then I'm happy that Keeks. She was able to pick up where Joanna left off, and she was able to help with the show. And she just didn't help with just doing interviews, She did help with the ROKER stuff, kind of like planning and doing some of the things along those lines.
While doing her own show, the bigger picture.
Yeah, while doing her own show, the
Holy
bigger
cow.
picture. And I know she's really busy also. She has like, of course, she's a student here. She also works at the front desk here on campus, and she's also part of I'm pretty sure, a sorority. So she's on a full plate too. And, I'm just happy that we're all able to make the time to work for my show, out in our own Oswego.
Right on. Well, that's going to do it for this first hour. We're going to close it out with some Beatles, Van Halen, and maybe Bruno Mars if we get to it.
Hey, yeah. Please,
but
Bruno Mars.
This is the Cold Brew. You're currently tuned into the special interview, Cold Brew, OX5 crossover. I'm sitting here with Zach Morris and Cletus Tepas. Is that how I say it right?
T-Paz.
T-Paz.
Like a Z.
Yeah. Okay, T-Paz. I'm sorry.
A little bit of a curveball.
I've never heard your last name until today.
Yeah.
Okay, so
it's an interesting
T-Paz. Okay.
You forgot to scan the number, man.
Yeah, the fourth.
Yeah, the fourth.
Oh, really?
He's the fourth.
Wow. I'm learning so much today. Holy cow.
Yeah.
But until then, you got to stick around for the next hour. We've got a lot of fun stuff coming up. We're going to play hot fake news. Of course, Chris's Coffee Corner coming up after the second break. Until then, we'll close out the hour with some music. Stick with us here on 88.9 FM, WNYO, Oswego, New York. It is the Laker Radio Network, and I am the host. I am Chris Brewster.
Yes, you are.
And this is The Cold Brew. We'll be right back.